Hey guys, I'm Chad.
Hi, I'm Jessica.
And welcome to the first episode in our new series on plant care.
And today the topic will be soil mix.
Alright guys, I know it's been a while since we made our last video. As you can see, there's been a lot of changes going on around here. We've got new greenhouses. We actually used to have an entire wall of printers right here making robot noises 24 hours a day. Makes it kind of hard to make videos, but we've got all that resolved now.
So now we decided we will make videos again. And since I got a lot of questions regarding my plant care on Instagram, we were thinking it would be best if we will do a series of video that demonstrate just like to help with visualization as well. Okay, so before we get into all this, I just want to say this method worked for us and it worked for our environment. We don't believe there is a best type of care out there. You just have to pick what works for your environment.
Yeah, it's a good point. That's a thing that's kind of confusing about plant care instructions you find on YouTube or wherever, is you just have to adjust to your environment. You got to think, where does this person live? Do they live in Florida where it's very high humidity? Are they in California? Are they in the desert? You just have to, kind of modify what they tell you for your own conditions and environment. Just like we've got a lot of different plants in greenhouses, some are outside, some are on shelves by the window, and we kind of have to adjust like each little micro environment to suit, what plants are in that area. So we're going to do our best to try to explain to you everything we do and give you the reasons for why we did it, what products we chose, and we'll get to it.
So to start off with our mix, these are the two components that we use for our mix, is potting soil and perlite. That's it.
So I know a lot of people have been using orchid bark in their mix or charcoal or just all kinds of other ingredients. We actually tried that last year and it didn't work out for us really. It was like root rot city. Basically killed a ton of plants.
Yeah, that was bad.
And so after that, for probably the last year or so, we went back to just a pretty simple mix, perlite and soil. And we found that it's really easy to explain it to people. It's easier for you to just mix two ingredients and get the results you want. And it's also super easy to troubleshoot. So if your plants are rotting a lot, you either got to water less or you got to add more perlite. Or if they're drying out too fast, all you got to do is up your soil mix, and it's easy just to fix that. You don't have to shift through 30 different ingredients. Okay, which one do I need to go down? Which one do I need to go up? So we basically adjust the amount of perlite based on where the plant is. So for stuff in our greenhouses, we are going to increase the amount of perlite, and that's just because it doesn't dry out as fast in there just because of all the humidity. So you want your soil to dry out a little bit faster because there's going to be a lot of moisture around it. Then for stuff like succulents or other plants we have that are outside, they don't get that much humidity because it's not very humid in here. So we want to decrease the amount of perlite because if you keep it high, they're just going to dry out faster and you're going to have to water more often. And
I actually want to add to that. For succulent, however, we still put a lot of perlite just because it's succulent, it's desert plants, and they don't like to be wet, like not at all. But at the same time, they don't like to be underwater either. If you have succulent, you would understand that they will start like.
We actually did grow one in hydroponics, though.
I guess so.
It works.
We did like some of it, but we're gonna save the topic on hydroponic after. But anyway, so for our greenhouse, we have them around 80% to 99%, and
99% what?
Humidity.
Oh, sorry.
And outside,
They're like, that's a lot of perlite.
And outside of our tent, the humidity is around 50%, or sometimes even lower. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind when you deciding what percentage you want to use for your environment.
Yeah, I think what we do normally is the plants in our greenhouses, it's probably like maybe 60-40, 60 perlite, 40 soil, somewhere around there. You can adjust as necessary. Some plants like to be moist longer, like anthuriums, so you maybe want a little bit more soil, a little less of this guy. You just got to see what the plant likes. Okay, so let's go 50-50 maybe. That's probably good. All right, so let's get this perlite thing down. All right, so what is perlite? Basically, it can retain moisture, but at the same time, it's also really coarse. So what that does is provide little pockets in your soil so that you can get some airflow going in there. There's actually a really good research article on all this sort of soil stuff and how it interacts chemically and air pockets and how much water pockets there are. I'll link it down below if you want to spend like the next 3 weeks reading it. That's fine. So basically we're going to mix this in, and that's going to provide, it holds some moisture, but it's also going to provide to make the soil more airy. You know, it spaces it out so you don't have the water just all clogging down, you know, in one spot.
And I want to add to that. So if you think about it, you know, in nature, the soil will have all kind of worms and things underneath it to help make it airy. When you pot a plant indoor, you don't have worm. I mean, unless you want to add worm, so we don't want to do that. So perlite will help do the job to make little air pocket inside the soil, and that way it will help getting the water drain out at the same time, still holding the moisture that can supply the root.
So the brand we use is called Vigoro. You can actually get it at Home Depot. We've tried a couple other different brands. This one has worked the best for us. A lot of them, they're really fine. I don't know if like the guy unloading it like was hitting it or something, and but they're just like almost like a powder. So it really defeats the purpose of buying perlite in the first place. We've bought this. I've bought probably 5, 6, 7 of like the big bags, and all of them have been like really good and coarse.
And they also sell like coarse perlite on eBay and Amazon. I don't know if you want to check it out. So the next component in our mix is the potting mix base. The brand we are using right now is called Happy Frog from Fox Farm. And Fox Farm actually have a lot of different varieties. Yes, thank you. Different variety. But after I did all my own research, I decided this will be the best fit for all our plants. Also, what attracted me to this one particular variety is that it also includes mycorrhizae. My pronunciation is not that great, but mycorrhizae and humic acid.
I think she was trying to say mycorrhizae. It's a fungal relationship. So anyways, you get these fungal spores in the soil, and after a little bit of time they germinate and they spread out these little root-like structures, and they will actually attach to the plant's roots, and it'll actually go inside of them. And then they build additional structures inside the plant roots, and they have a symbiotic relationship, basically where they can exchange nutrients. You know, one needs this type, one needs that type, and they can exchange them. And then the fungal parts that are growing outside of the plant roots will actually send out different root structures, to the surrounding soil, so it can soak up stuff that the roots haven't got to yet. And so they just do that kind of like in a friendly way, and so it helps both of them survive and do better.
And we actually started to use this mix in the beginning of this year, and we already seen a lot of tremendous change in our plant that we potting in this new soil mix. And I think just like last week, we decided we will change like entirely all our soil mix into this mix. So what about humic acid? Humic acid has been used a lot recent year, and I think it's been used for a long time in agriculture. And what it does is it will help. There's a lot of benefit with humic acid. We're gonna just like mention a little bit about it because it's gonna take like 2-3 hours just to mention all the benefit of it. And the main thing is that it will help regulate the pH of the soil. That's one important thing. We will explain about this later on. And another thing is it will help optimize the plant uptake of nutrition. And as you go through this series, you will notice that we pay a lot of attention to how the plant uptake nutrition, and everything we do around our care is focusing on like helping the plant, increasing the plant ability to take in the nutrition. Because I notice a lot of time people ask me, what do you feed your plant and things like that. But I can tell you the best product out there for fertilizer, but if your plant can't uptake all of the nutrition that you give them, there's no point. So humic acid and mycorrhizae are the two things that, focusing on helping the plant uptake the nutrition.
Okay, so what even is humic acid? It's basically an acid that's formed from the breakdown of organic molecules. There's some rocks and other stuff thrown in. That's not really important. What is important is it's able to grab onto nutrients that your plant needs in the soil, and it makes it available to the roots. So basically what happens is the humic acid, it can grab onto different ions like magnesium, and then it gets attracted to your root system, which has a higher charge than that of the humic acid. So it's able to pull those off of that and absorb them. And the other good benefit is the humic acid reduces the pH of your soil. Now you're thinking, why is that even important? What even is pH? Plant health? No, it's not. It's about acid and base balance. So basically, you need a certain range for these ions to be absorbed because it affects their solubility. So if you have all the fertilizer in the world, but your pH is super high, it's not going to be able to dissolve in the soil, so you won't be able to put any of that into the plant. It's just like if you dump a bunch of oil like into a pitcher of water. It doesn't matter how much you dump on there, it's never going to go to the bottom. It's always going to stay at the top. So you have to have just this perfect little range in order for the plants to, be able to take it up. So that's what the humic acid also provides. Okay, so that's the basics of the soil we use. I will say that you can get humic acid and mycorrhizal fungi separately if you want to mix them into whatever soil mix you're currently using. We just use this one because it has it all in there. It's more convenient for us. So we're just going to go through what your soil is going to look like. So this is going to be the soil if you don't have any perlite in there whatsoever. It's going to be really compact. The water's not going to flow through that fast when you water it. And this is a common mix we use. It's got the 50-50 perlite to soil mix. It's a common one we use. And so this is what it looks like. Very airy. Your plants are going to love it.
So that's this guy. Thank you for watching. And if you have any question, leave it in a comment down below.
And you can follow us on TheHappyPlace46 at Instagram, or check out our website, TheHappyPlace46.com. You don't have to, but you might find a cool plant or maybe a potter that you like. Not Harry Potter, one that you put your plants in. That's it, guys.